Alright, you beautiful souls, this is James, also known as the Only Zerg, and this is going to be part 3 to what if Deku was born with a copy quirk into a world where only females come into like a an activated quirk gene. So little few things some people have asked me about I want to go over. I've already decided on a ship that I'm gonna do for this. So I like all the suggestions. I don't get me wrong. I do enjoy you guys suggesting them, but in this one, since only females have quirks, and there's a ship that um, I personally like to see. Like I would personally like to see an anime, but it wouldn't really realistically happen. In this one, it would fit, in my opinion, a little. It would fit. It potentially could fit like in this one. So I've already gotten the ship for this one. Um, so I don't need any suggestions for the ship. Um, let's see. There is something that I'm going to be doing with this one. If you guys are part of the Discord, you probably already know what's going to happen. Because I put the question out because I was on the fence about like an idea with this what if, and it was kind of giving me like a roadblock for like the story's progression. So with all that being said, also thank you guys again for like the 300 subs. Like I didn't think when I started uploading videos on the first of the year that within the first month of me uploading videos that I would be getting subs as fast as I had. I thought because I looked, there were a few other channels that I've followed for a couple of years. In the first couple of months that they were uploading, they didn't have that many subs, so I was kind of expecting that. But again, apparently a lot of you souls out there like the content that I put out. So with that being said, let's get into our story. So I did rewatch the last episode. I did skim through the last episode, just getting my mind back into this story because I went a little. I scripted out a couple episodes for the new one that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be one of my ongoing ones because a lot of you really like that one. So I believe I had Izuku at 12 when he met All Might. So it was like a year after the events that he had with Eraserhead. And in the last part, All Might, she offered to train Izuku because she did, well, 12 at the time. So at the start of this one, he'll be almost 13 years old. Because I would say he met All Might a little bit before his birthday, and because it was like during one of the breaks that he had from school, and then he had his birthday. So in this one, he'll be 13 very soon. So for all intents and purposes, he's 13 at the time. So that gives us 2 years before the start of the anime. 2 years before the start of the anime. So in this one, I have been dropping in Discord and hints that this is going to get dark, and that will come into play towards the end of the video. So Izuku is like really happy that like he's excited because like his idol, like the one hero that he idolizes the most, wants to train him, and it's told him that he's not going to become a villain because the kids that do know he has a quirk have, like, I would say they have heard rumors about like guys with quirks always becoming a villain. There's like that wise tale that men with quirks will be villains. So Izuku's like really happy because his idol, like the hero he looks up most to, told him that he could be a hero, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a if you're female or male. Like you, it all depends on how you use your quirk. Essentially, that determines if you're a villain or a hero. One moment, I have a knock at the door. Sorry about that interruption. So I believe, yeah. So All Might, she had told Izuku that um, he can be a hero, and that essentially how he uses his power in the quirks that he acquires will determine if he is a hero or not. And All Might when because All Might said this, he also when he told All Might that he won't ever become a villain, like he wants to be a hero, it kind of tugged at her heartstrings a little bit. Like he's like, oh my god, this kid's like is too innocent. Kind of like, like when you see an innocent person, they have like that cute innocence is the best way to describe it in English. Like a cute innocence. Someone that's cute is cute because of their innocence. That's kind of how she's looking at Izuku right now. So, and he was told to keep this a secret because of the whole nature of his quirks and her being the number one hero. It can draw some unwanted attention. So over the course of the next year, Izuku, he matures a lot because he's having influence, like he's having every other day and every weekend influence from his idol. Like she's constantly mentoring Izuku and helping him out with like getting some hand-to-hand combat, so that even if he can't use, like if he's in a situation where it's not apt for him to use his quirks that he may have, he can at least hold his own in a fight. And she does she will be spending like this year also getting his body ready to be able to handle the power of one for all. And over the course of this year, she gets to know Izuku really well, and she's impressed with this boy's development. Like, he was born with an amazing power into a world where women are the heroes, and from what she's been able to gather, kids that have known that he has powers have bullied him and called him a villain. And this really does upset her. And she has asked Izuku, like, what kind of hero does he want to be? And Izuku's like, well, I want to be a hero exactly like you, but I also want to prove to everyone that guys that are born with powers can be heroes as well. And this is like I would say this conversation happened about at the 8-month mark within their first year of training. And Izuku, like, she's impressed with this, and she's like, maybe I should just give him one for all. Maybe I should just pass it down to him. And she's thinking, it's not like, oh, she's going to pass the quirk down. Like, she has been looking for a successor, but she figures, like, with Izuku's perfect copy quirk, and his ability to enhance, like when he copies it, the quirks that he copies are a little bit stronger than what the quirk was at the time that he copied it. So yes, Izuku has Katsuki's explosion. He has her explosion quirk, but the thing is, if he doesn't train that quirk, it won't get any stronger, and Katsuki could eventually make her explosions stronger than Izuku's explosions. Like, it doesn't unlock the full potential of the quirk. He just copies their state, like the state of their quirk at the time that he copies it, and then he'll have to train that quirk himself. Like, I'm not giving him the ability to, like, he just becomes like this overpowered Hulk of a quirk user, kind of like what I'm doing in the new series very soon, and that one you guys will understand. So we come to the end of the first year, and Izuku has made good development, and she has a conversation with him. She's like, young man, it probably will only take a few more months before I believe your body will be ready to withstand the power of One For All. And Izuku has been going like hard. Like he's been going just as hard as he has in canon with like weight training and learning different martial arts and stuff like that, like learning like hand-to-hand combat training. And Izuku's like, really, All Might, like, you, how much longer do you think it will take? And she says, it will probably take you about another 6 months to get at the point I believe you'd be ready. And this just lights a fire in Izuku, because the past year of his life has been like a dream to him. He's been told, like, he still gets bullied in school, and Katsuki she still gives him a hard time and everything. And so he gets a fire lit in him, and he's like 6 months. Okay. And he sets a personal goal to do that in less time, to prove that he's worthy of copying All Might's quirk. Because Izuku's mentality, yes, he could copy someone's quirk without their permission, but he set that mental block for himself. Like, he does have the ability to copy someone's quirk without them knowing, but he wants to be a hero, and it's part of why he gets bullied. He's like, oh, you can just copy people's quirks, like, that's kind of villainous kind of thing, and that's why he gets bullied. So he's like, you know what, I'm not, like, he's at the point now where he won't copy someone's quirk unless they allow him to. So unlike Monoma, where someone pointed out he needs to know how the quirk works for him to be able to copy it, and he can do it without their permission as well. So I'm giving that to Izuku. He doesn't necessarily need to know how it works perfectly, but have a rough idea about it. But to really, like, use One For All, he will need permission to copy it because of the weird interaction between his quirk and One For All. So we skip like another 4 months, and All Might's like, huh, young Midoriya, you've seriously impressed me. I thought it would take you another 6 months, but you've managed to do it in 4 months. Very well then. I've explained how my quirk works to you. Though there is one more thing I need to tell you. it can be passed on to people. And this is a huge secret. This is something that very few people know about. And she goes into full detail explaining like how her quirk came about, and she was actually quirkless. So she knows, she can sort of relate to what Izuku has gone through. Just not she doesn't know exactly what he's gone through, but she can relate because she was quirkless, and if it wasn't for her mentor Nana, she wouldn't be the hero that she is today. So she's like, well, with that, young Midoriya, here. And she reaches her hand out, and then Izuku grabs her hand, and he says, "Are you sure about this, All Might? Do you really think I'm worthy?" And she says, "Yes, I believe you are worthy, to at least copy my quirk." And Izuku's like, well, if you say it's okay, then. And Izuku copies One For All. And he is at his limit now. So he has all of his storage units, like for his quirk, like the 6 full, because he has been like alternating with like a few of the government officials, just asking him if like he can copy their quirk to like train his copying quirk so he can do it faster, because it does take some concentration to copy it. And he has gotten to the point to where he doesn't really need to concentrate that hard to copy it, but it and to like release one quirk at a time. But if he wants to do release multiple quirks at a time, he needs to really concentrate. The same thing with copying multiple quirks at the same time. Now, hybrid quirks like Todoroki's, half hot, half cold, like people that have a quirk that is a mixture of different quirks, that's still going to count as one quirk, even though it's like 2 quirks combined. It's kind of like Bakugo's. Technically, Bakugo has a half and half quirk because he has his mother's quirk and his father's quirk. His father's quirk is like ignition, like some kind of ignition quirk, and his mother has her quirk, she sweats nitroglycerin, and so their quirks combined and created the explosions. The explosion itself isn't really Katsuki's quirk per se. It's an effect of her quirk in this one, but of his quirk. So that being said, Izuku has copied One For All, and he immediately tries to power up, and he can't do it. And he's like, that's kind of weird. And he's like, wait a minute, maybe if I do this. And he activates it in his arm, and he feels strain, and so he deactivates it. And All Might's standing there, and she's like, young Midoriya, why are you activating it in just one part of your body? It seemed... And he's like, well, like, I thought that's how it worked. And, like, I just figured out how to do it, but... And she's like, how about you try activating it throughout your entire body? And he does so, and he's like, whoa, this doesn't feel bad at all. And she's like, all right now, throw a punch at me, young man. let's see how well you can control it. And they do have medical professionals on standby just in case Izuku breaks his bone, because there is still that potential. And Izuku throws like the punch with a one for all enhanced punch as much as he can, and All Might just, she catches it and she's like, huh, it were you going all out there, young man? And Izuku's like, yeah, like I was. And All Might's like, it seems like when you copied my quirk, you didn't, it seems like you have a weaker version. I thought it'd be stronger. So Izuku is able to use his one for all at 100%, like at the get-go. And it's not the one for all from canon. It's, like I said at the beginning of the video and also through Discord and in replies to a few comments, it's the one for all that the first user had. Because what I'm going to do later, it would completely break Izuku. So Izuku's happy, and he thanks All Might for all the training that she's given him and for the quirk, and he promised her that he'll use it for good. And this really gets All Might thinking. He's like, maybe I should really just pass it on to him. So they spend like the next 2 months training, and Izuku slowly begins to get stronger and stronger. And he asks All Might, he's like, All Might, do you know anyone that potentially that would have a quirk that would go, like quirks that I don't already have that would go well with this one? Because I do have an open slot, but if there's another quirk that can go really well, I can just get rid of Eraserhead's quirk. And he doesn't really train Eraserhead's quirk. He doesn't train her quirk. He said he thinks is like, I can use it in certain ways, but I'd much rather not do that. And she's like, that's very interesting. I'll ask a few of my colleagues if they would be willing to help out. So we get to a couple more months pass by, so that would put Izuku at he's a couple months before his 15th birthday and the start of the anime. After a day of training, All Might, she tells Izuku, like, I do have someone that's willing, but they're in the States right now, and they can't get away from like their hero work at the moment. But they did say that they would be able to come by and allow you to do it within 6 months, and in 6 months' time they will be able to come, because they really want to meet you. And I doubt the Japanese government would let you leave the country for something like this. So now is where something like some dark stuff is going to happen. So on his way home, like All Might's with him, they hear a loud explosion. Or no, let me get back a little bit. So during this time, Hasashi had returned home, and he's like, wow, like, you've really developed, and I'm sorry, Izuku, that I wasn't here for like all of this. And Izuku did told his dad, is like, Dad, it's fine, my mom was here, and I doubt you would have been able to help me out anyway, but I still like the fact that you're my dad. Because without you, I probably wouldn't be the person I am too. Like, I probably wouldn't be like I am now. Like, yeah, some bad stuff has happened to me, but I'm I'm hopeful for like where I'm going to end up in life. And thanks to you, like you've showed me what it means to be a guy. You've been a really good father to me. And then Sasha did cry at this moment. So now we cut back to All Might and Izuku walking. And so when All Might and Izuku get close to his home, they hear a loud explosion. And they hear another explosion go off. And Izuku, like, All Might's like, crap. Like, she goes into her buff form, and Izuku like goes into his full body one for all. And she's like, young man, you need to stay here. It's probably not safe. And he's like, All Might, like, I don't care if it's not safe. That explosion came in from the direction of my house. If my parents are in trouble, I'm going to go. You won't be able to, you can't stop me from doing this. And All Might is like, God, kid. Oh, okay then. Well, let's go. And she basically, like, picks him up and, like, jumps. And when they land in front of Izuku's house, All Might has a look of horror on her face. And Izuku is freaking out. He runs up to his house. And All Might immediately runs and grabs him, and because she saw something he didn't see. She saw who caused this, or she suspects who the figure she saw was. And she's like, damn it, I didn't think it would happen this fast. Oh, crap, what are we gonna do now? And Izuku's like, Mom, Dad, Mom, no, Mom, Dad. And the fire engines come up, and Izuku, like, All Might is just sitting there, like, basically, like, holding Izuku, and he's crying because they found his parents. His dad was like, and All Might, before Izuku saw, like, what his parents were like, she basically picks him up and pulls him away, and he's screaming. He's like, no, I've got to find my parents. And she's like, Izuku, I'm sorry, it's too late. You don't need to see that. Like, no child ever see their parents in a situation like that. I'm sorry, but I can't let you see them like that, Izuku. I'm really sorry, but please just wait until the fire department and the police get here, and I promise you, I'll let you see them. But right now, we need to let professionals do their job. And Izuku's crying. He's like, why does stuff like this always have to happen to me? I didn't ask to be born with this stuff. And I'm trying my hardest, like. And All Might's, like, covering is like, it'll be fine, Izuku. We'll figure something out. And All Might is, like, starting to, like, tear up, but she's keeping herself composed for the boy's sake, because he just lost both of his parents. And there's other casualties as well, and this is, like, really, like, this has pissed All Might off. And this causes something to change within Izuku. Now that he's had a copy of One for All for so long, it's kind of started messing with the other quirks that he has. So we cut we cut to the next day, and Izuku wakes up, and he's in a hospital bed, and All Might's sitting there with it and it looks, and her face is a little red, and he basically gets up and walks over to her and not and like wakes her up, and she's like, I'm sorry, Izuku. I'm sorry you had to see me like this, but unfortunately, young man, you've been orphaned, but sorry I fell asleep, but I've been up all night and I've been thinking. Remember how I told you how One for All came about? Well, I believe he's behind it. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want you to become a villain. And he's like, starts crying. It's like, oh my, I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be a villain. If anything, this has made me really want to be a hero. So, like, even if he wasn't involved in it, like, it probably was someone that knew about me, and my parents are gone because of me. And Izuku is really, like, he's kind of broken, but he feels weird at the same time, like something's happening with him. And Izuku is like, after like the day All Might ask him, he's like, so Midoriya, would you want to live with me? Like, it's the only way that I can think of that I can keep you safe, at least until you can protect yourself. And I would feel bad putting, like, it does seem like someone will be out to get you, and we need to get you prepared for that. And the fastest way for me to be able to do that is for you to stay with me. Now, you can go live with other family members, but if you want to, you can come and live with me, young Midoriya. And Izuku's like, are you sure, All Might? I don't want to be I don't want to impose on you more than what I've already have. And Izuku is, she basically grabs him, hugs him, and he's like, I'm probably at fault for this as well. So I'm sorry if I had any part, if me helping you out and training you was any cause of this. And so with that, I'm going to end this part here. I have dulled this down a little bit because during it I was like, no, Izuku shouldn't see what happens to his parents. Like, he shouldn't be there when it happens. It would probably turn into a villain if you saw it actually happening and giving him the vindictive side. He's still going to be out for, like, One for All and the people that killed his parents. So he's going to have a little bit of a Batman complex, like I like to call it, because what drives Bruce Wayne to, like, be Batman is, like, initially is to find the culprit behind his parents' demise. So that's a little bit what Izuku's going to be like in this. Like, he's still going to be a friendly guy because he understands that if he basically doesn't want other people to go through the hardships that he has. He wants to be an example that men can be good heroes and that they won't be villains. So, with that, this part has come to an end. Thank you guys again for all the support. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I'll see you beautiful souls in the next video.